Hello everybody, welcome back to my Country Sparkles channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make sauerkraut. Now I have already half made my sauerkraut and I found out my mic wasn't on. So I'm very sorry, but I'm just going to quickly talk you through what I've done. So I had a giant head of cabbage here, and what I did is I chopped it up with a knife, and with my mandolin here, I like to use the julienne setting to make sure it's in nice small strips, easy to eat and easy to serve. So that's what I did. So I cut it up and put it in this giant bowl, right? Not too bad. And then I added 1 tablespoon of salt. I've seen many people use between 1 teaspoon and 1.5 tablespoons of salt, just depending on how big your head of cabbage is. My head of cabbage was pretty big, so I went with a tablespoon, but I didn't want it to be too salty, so I didn't go like the most amount of salt that you could do, but you want it to be enough salt in order to ferment it. At this point, I've added my salt and everything, and then I just stuck my hands in and I massaged it, getting the salt all over everything to help sweat out the natural juices of the cabbage. While the cabbage is fermenting, it's called doing a lacto-fermenting, it is supporting and growing the good bacteria that is on the outside of the cabbage. And by that good bacteria growing and eating it, it helps support your gut health. So cabbage turned into sauerkraut is very healthy for you. So now that my cabbage has been massaged and it's rested a little bit, it's much juicier than when I put it in there. It was very dry, and now the juices are definitely coming out. It has a nice glistening look to it. I'm going to start packing it into my jar. While you pack it into your jar, you want to make sure that it's nice and tight in there. This is a 1/2 gallon jar. Don't forget all my tools that I'll use. I will link down below for you also. So put some cabbage in like that. And then I have this little wooden pounder thing. I really have no idea where I got this from, but I'm sure I'll be able to find something like it to link down below for you. And it fits in the head of my jar very nicely. And I'm gonna just use this to pack it down, getting all or as much air out as I can. And this also encourages the juices to come out of the cabbage, making its own sauerkraut brine. And in making its own brine with the salt, you don't have to make your own like water and salt brine, because the juices from the cabbage will seep out and you have your brine already made. So yay to one less step. This is one of the easiest things and one of the best things to start out fermenting. So after this is all filled up, what we're going to do is I'm going to put a cover over it. You can either use a cheesecloth, which a lot of people use, and just a rubber band securing that on there, or you can use a fermenting lid like this, which will naturally let the air come out. As it ferments, it makes little bubbles and it will release gases, and so you want those gases to be able to get out of your jar. So you don't want to put a solid lid on it when you're letting it ferment outside of the fridge in a nice cool dark spot in your kitchen. My pantry is perfect. It is dark in there and the temperature stays pretty consistent. At first, when I first started pulling off my leaves too, I also kept one of the big leaves off and I cut out a circular-ish area, and I'm gonna put this over top of all my cabbage in here and push it down, hold down all the little cabbage pieces under the brine that the cabbage is currently making and releasing through its juices. You want all the little pieces of cabbage to be under the brine, because if any float up in the week that it's fermenting, if they're float up and exposed to air, then they will mold, and you don't really want a moldy sauerkraut, right? So you want to keep all those little pieces submerged as best as you can. So a leaf is a great way to put in there and it'll seal around the edge. I'm also going to put a weight on the top to help keep the leaf from floating up, also with all the air bubbles that will be coming up as it ferments over the next week. So put this in here. The longer this sits, the more brine that will come out of it. Like I said, I'm just packing this in here as tight as I can. Okay, add some more cabbage. This smells so good. I love cabbage. It's just such a good smell. It's nice. It's like refreshing. It's kind of like the cucumber smell. But instead of cucumber, it's cabbage. Okay. Getting pretty packed here. I see the juices down below seeping up, and that is great. Okay, I'm going to pause you for just a second and just get the rest of this cabbage inside the jar. I'll be right back. Now I've got all my cabbage in my jar. I'm going to push it down, make sure there's no pieces on the sides. I've got a clean towel here to help wipe off some. I'll wipe the inside of the mouth too, and then I'm going to take my little circle piece of cabbage. The brine in there is, I can see the water line. It's about up to there. It will sweat more. And then the water will rise above this. I'm going to check this throughout the day to make sure that the leaf isn't floating on top of the brine, since the brine's not up above the cabbage quite yet. But I'm just putting the cabbage leaf right over all the other little pieces to help hold them down. There's a little piece I got out. I really don't want any floating above it, so I'm making sure I get all my little pieces down. Okay, and then I've got my fermenting weight here. I'm going to put on top of the cabbage leaf. That will also help it stay down. And later today I might readjust that leaf. We will see. But here's what that looks like. And if you don't have a fermenting weight, you can, I've seen people use like the root or the ball of the bottom of in the middle of the cabbage and put in there to help hold it down too with the lid, but I like the weight a little bit better. You can even use a sanitized rock that fits inside of your glass jar. So you can go as simple or as complicated as you want with your fermenting. Next, you want to cover it with a cheesecloth and a rubber band, or you can use a fermenting lid. I like these fermenting lids because it has these cool, nifty little rubber pieces in the middle that let the gases that build up in here out, but don't let the air and oxygen in, so it helps to combat mold. It also has white rings here, and on those rings you can set the little dial and to a month and a day of when you started the ferment, so it helps you also remember when you started fermenting this. And so I'll be able to set the date on here and then set it in a cool, dark place for a week, let it ferment, look at the date and be like, oh, it's been a week. Awesome. I'll take off this lid and then I'll put on my canning lid, just a lid and a ring to store this in the fridge. And this will last in the fridge for about a year, but we'll probably have it eaten within a month because we love sauerkraut in this house. Thank you so much for joining me in this video and watching it. If you make your own sauerkraut at home, let me know down below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so that way you can join me in all of our future homesteading videos. Thanks, you guys. Bye.